Hello everyone, I hope you're well. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the things I wish I knew before trying to fulfill my dreams. The first thing is taking care of yourself is super important. Take care of your energy. One of my mistakes was to try to do too many things all at once. I had a job, a full-time job, that was quite demanding. Plus, I had acting classes, and afterwards, on top of my acting classes, I also had singing classes. And not only did I have my acting classes, but also for my acting classes, I needed to rehearse um, before every workshop, so I needed to learn lines. We also had exercises, breathing exercises especially, to do, and also if we really wanted to perform well, we were advised to do movement exercises every day. Same thing for the singing class. We were advised to work on our voice, so to do at least one singing exercise every day. So if you take into account the full-time job, so from started at 9 a.m. and then I finished at 6 p.m. when I didn't work extra. Sometimes it was still 7 p.m. Plus afterwards the acting exercises, plus then at least one singing exercise. It's a lot. So you really need to prioritize what's the most important, and try to prioritize and value, and also see what gives you energy and what takes you energy. If your full-time job, if you need to have a full-time job, of course, but in the case of a full-time job, if it drains all your energy and at the end of the day you don't have any energy left, you really need to reconsider that. So what we can do is to look for another job, not quitting just right away, except if your financial situation is great and you don't have to, you can wait for several months before finding something else. But otherwise, I would advise you to look for another job and find something more healthy for you. So maybe if you can, having a part-time job instead of a full-time job, or maybe doing something that requires less mental energy or less physical energy. If it's something that drains your that requires a lot of physical energy, you do a lot of physical exercises during your at work, maybe you could consider to do something less demanding physically speaking. So taking care of your energy is super important, because if you don't have any energy left for your dream, then what can you do? it's just it's just not possible. You end up having a burnout, or at least having extreme fatigue. And I know it's something we're still kind of in a culture that values hustling a lot, especially in the US, I'd say. Um, the problem is that the problem with this is that we're not robots, and our energy is not infinite. So we really need to take care of that. So I would say that is like the number one: take care of your energy and prioritize. The second thing I would say um, is that trying to, even just trying to fulfill your dreams, triggers a lot of people. That's how it is, because as you have observed already, I guess, most people don't follow their dreams. They just don't. They dream while they're young, and then for some reason they get stuck in some way. They let obstacles, and I did that, of course, for a long time as well. They let obstacles stop them, and so they just stop dreaming. And when you share with them your dreams and the actions you're taken to go towards that direction, it really triggers them. It pisses them off. That's just how it is. Not all people are like that, but many people. Because it's not about you, not at all. It's about them. It makes them realize that they're not doing anything to fulfill their dreams. It makes them realize how stuck they are in their lives and how they don't like their lives. And so, of course, it's really triggering. So, some of them will show it to you by maybe criticizing a lot what you're doing. For others, it will be more subtle. Like they will pretend they're enthusiastic for you, they're happy for you, but you'll notice that it's not really genuine. You'll realize there's a lot of jealousy, and this jealousy can be almost dangerous for you because they may put obstacles on your way or they may be really passive aggressive. And this, of course, in the long run can have a negative impact on you. So you really need to be careful of the people you're sharing what you're doing. So really take care of that. Don't say too much about your projects. See how open the people are. You can share your projects with people who are already fulfilling their dreams or at least are actively trying. These people are, are great for that because you're moving towards the same direction, so it's great. Maybe there can be some competition, so you need to identify the people who may feel threatened if they have a scarcity mindset and if they feel you may be better than them. For example, if you have the same dream, if you want to become a chef and they want to become a chef as well, and they see that you're really good at what you're doing, they may feel threatened and there may be some competition about that. But yes, the people who are not taking any action at all and that are really not satisfied with their lives, with these people I would avoid sharing what you're doing. The next thing is working on yourself. Working on yourself is really key. It's unfortunately something we don't find that often. It's really a pity. When you see someone who has a lot of success and the interviewer asks them why they're having all this success, usually what they say is that they worked very hard, they worked on their craft, they improved whatever they were doing, and by working so hard, then they just succeeded. The truth is, there are people all around the world who are super, super talented. They really know what they're doing. They're working really, really hard. They've been working for years and years, and yet they're still struggling. They're sometimes even in the streets. You can see them sing outside, playing their instruments. They're not earning any money, and yet they're super talented. So why is that? I mean, if the recipe for success would be only to work super hard for a long time, then I guess there would be much more people who would have fulfilled their dreams by now. So working is important, of course. Improving whatever you need to improve, of course, is really important. But you also need to preserve your energy because it's a marathon and not a sprint. And also find a technique to heal your wounds. Because everybody has emotional wounds. Even if you consider you had a happy childhood and a happy teenagehood, in this case, well, good for you, that's great. But still, there may be things that block you. Sometimes it's in your past, maybe it's a memory you have even erased. or sometimes it also comes from your family. Our family gives us certain beliefs, and it shapes our worldview, it shapes our behavior, and some of these values are great and we want to keep them for sure. Other values, you may want to get rid of them. For example, around money. Money is a big thing. If you've been raised by a family maybe who was struggling and who didn't have much, you may have negative beliefs around money. You may think that rich people are bad, or you need to work extremely hard in order to have just a little bit of money to I forgot about the expression in English. Well, enough money to make it till the end of the month. If that's what you think, look for ways to get rid of these negative beliefs. If it's something that interests you, if you want to know how to work on your limiting beliefs, then put a comment below and ask me. I'll be happy to share several techniques about that. So there are the limiting beliefs. There are also other things that could block you a lot. For example, if you feel depressed, if you're not feeling good in your life, if you still have traumas that are still stored in your body, because our body really stores the negative events that happen to us, and it gives us the result is that we have much less energy, and also that we usually subconsciously we will have a negative vibe, kind of. It doesn't make you a negative person or a bad person, not at all, but the situations you will attract to you will tend to be more negative, because you'll have this negative vibe around you, and so what you will attract will be somehow negative. For example, if you had a very controlling parent in your past and you haven't worked on this wound, then what you will attract, what you will tend to attract in your life will be a controlling partner, a controlling boss, stuff like that. And that's not what we want, because in order to thrive, how can you thrive if you have a very bad relationship with your partner, if you have a very bad relationship with your boss, or whoever it may be, or if you're freelance, if you have a very bad relationship with your clients, then, well, of course, they will not come back anymore, or it will drain you, and it will really have a negative impact on your mental and physical health. So that's not what we want. That's why I would really advise you to find at least one technique that allows you to heal your wounds. That's super important, because the more you heal, the more the situation you will attract will be positive. And also, of course, you'll still have challenges, that's for sure, but the challenges will feel easier to face, because you will have this positive mindset that allows you to face them in a better way, and to stay calm and confident and be like, okay, I'm facing this challenge, but it's fine. I have the resources to face it. I have enough energy, enough self-confidence, and it may be difficult, but I will make it. So working on yourself is extremely important. Again, if this is something that interests you, please comment below, and I will maybe shoot a video specific about that. Another thing is having a community, or at least a small group of people that can support you. That's extremely important for your well-being, and also to allow you to move forward. I say this because usually we consider that our family and friends will support us. And sometimes there are this community that supports us, and that's great. That's awesome. But unfortunately, there are other times when we realize that our friends and family don't really get what you're trying to do. They may be, I hope not, but they may be part of these people who get triggered by the fact that you're trying to achieve your dreams. And so, in this case, you may really want to meet other people and start building a community that um, wants to move in the same direction as you. And so you can share your challenges, and they can share theirs, and you can learn from each other's mistakes, and you can also support each other and lift each other up. That's also the reason why I decided to create this channel. That can be a little help. And also, I would advise to build this community on site. So with it's great online, but also if it's possible to build it with so-called real people that you can really see in real life, that would be super helpful as well. The last but not least, don't betray your values. This, I know it sounds logical, and in theory you're like, yeah, of course, I have values and they're important for me, and of course I don't want to betray them. There are certain things I wouldn't be able to do. I don't want to do them. Of course, if I'm asked to do something that goes against my values, I will not do it. That's the theory. In practice, we tend to, especially when we have a scarcity mindsets, if you're interested in knowing more about what is a scarcity mindset, then please comment below, and I will be happy to share it with you, maybe in another video. When we have this type of mindsets, we can tend to accept whatever comes our way, and we can also tend to accept things that if we would have paused a little bit, we would have refused. I'm saying that because what I realized is that I wanted so much to want to go fast and to want to go from point A to point B that I chose an acting school that didn't correspond to my value. I knew that it didn't really match with the directors, and I didn't really like their personality and their behavior because they were very narcissistic. And I knew that, but I was like, oh yeah, but they have all these contacts and they seem to be serious. There are all these rules, and it's an established school, and the teachers seem to be great. Yeah, but the teachers were great professionals and the directors as well, but they had this behavior that was toxic. So, of course, the environment was toxic as well, and it didn't allow me to give the best. And same thing for projects. You may accept projects that don't really resonate with you just because you want to have more experience. But before accepting any project, it's better to pause and even for 5 minutes and be like, okay, what does my intuition tell me about this project? Is it fine with me? Which type of reputation will it give me? Will it be positive for me or not? Because if you work with people who devalue you, it can be traumatizing, and it crushes your confidence. And once your confidence is crushed, it's really difficult afterwards to rebuild it. So it makes you lose time, And also, as things may not have gone well with these people because it just didn't match, these people may also give you a bad reputation because they may talk about you with others, with other professionals, and um, as things didn't go well with you, they may, yes, give a bad image of you. So that's really not what you want. That's why, um, well, it's always better to work with people who share the same values as us. Um, so even if the maybe the project seems, I don't know, it pays less, um, the people are less famous, if the vibes are good, it's fit, if they match well with you, then you can accept it. And if you have different conditions, if something, maybe the dates don't correspond to your schedule, stuff like that, maybe we can find a way that works for the both of us. Maybe you can negotiate. All right, that's it for today. These were the 5 things I wish I knew earlier. Thank you very much, and see you soon.